So Google just released Gemini 2.5 Pro, and it's the best coding AI I've ever used, and I've tried them all. It one-shotted Ultimate Tic-Tac-Toe, three-shotted this kitten cannon clone, and while it did poorly on trying to make a landing page based on this mock-up image, was able to do a little bit better in recreating this bit of X's UI. I don't think front-end is really its strong point. But when it comes to coding, it was able to refactor some of my crappy Rust code better than every single one of the other models. That's what I do in this video. So let's kick it back to the past and see how amazed Past Forest is with Gemini 2.5 Pro. So I want to see if it can one-shot something similar to this dinosaur game, but not exactly like it. Make me an addictive launch style game like Kitten Cannon. Did y'all ever play this in high school or middle school or maybe elementary school? Use P5JS only, no HTML, show instructions on screen. I like pixelated animals, funny physics, and random obstacles that send you flying or stop you cold. Make the background scroll as you go. But what I'm going to do is come up here, copy this code, paste it in the P5JS web editor here and run it. Oh my goodness. So it wrote 636 lines of code with a type error, cannot set properties of undefined setting on context menu. Yeah, so I just can't click on this, which is how it's supposed to work. So this is what we're going to do. You know, like any good vibe coder, we're just going to throw the error right back into here with no context whatsoever. Okay, so it looks like it rewrote the sketch setup. So this is the end of setup. So we'll take this setup code right here, replace this setup code right here, input handling code right here, and we will replace this, and we will replace that right there. Okay, let's give it a shot. No way. So we did get another error over here. We have no sign function. So they just replaced sketch.sign with math.sign. So this is the entire check collisions function that it rewrote for me. So if I want to come up here, replace check collisions and rerun, let's see if it'll work this time. Let me move. Ooh, okay, but we did not collide with anything. So we have to wait until it hits a wall like that. Ooh, I hit a trampoline. Nice. I don't know if that counted as a collision. Boom. See, that was a collision right there and no error. So it didn't one-shot it like the video had suggested, but we did have two more prompts on top of that that did allow us to get it to work as it should. And I know right now it's very easy to say, oh, well, you know, that's just a little game, da da da. But imagine this 5 years ago. That's what I tried to remind everybody of. Like, we're on a hedonic treadmill right now where we just get used to everything. But something like this that you could just have with a single prompt or even 3 prompts to an AI, if we even knew what that was 5 years ago. And you could have this with like pixelated graphics and things of that nature. That's dang impressive. Compared to everything else, it still is impressive because I haven't really been able to one-shot or three-shot too many things at this level, but I also haven't tried with P5JS. So I have no comparison notes for this. Other than that, it's just cool. But real quick, let us take a look at some of the benchmarks. So when it comes to reasoning and knowledge, humanity's last exam in Gemini 2.5 Pro blew the competition out the water. O3 Mini was at 14% and the others were all under 10%. But this is a 34% increase from 14% up to 18.8%. So you see only 4.8% as a difference, but the percentage increase is insane. And real quick, something very cool about Gemini 2.5 Pro is the fact that its training data goes all the way to this month, March of 2025. And let's actually put that to the test. I know I keep taking off the jacket, put it back on. Ignore that. We're currently in React.js 19 as of December 2024. So if I come over here and say what version of React.js is current, and we run, as of late May 2024, it's on 18.3.1. So I wonder what happens if we do this. I turned on grounding with Google search and then just said, look it up. And okay, simple. Based on search results, the current stable version of React.js is 19. So what's that all about, Google? Shouldn't this be in the training data that it knows it's currently React 19 without looking it up? But it is what it is. In science, the GPQA diamond is at 84%, which beat out the single attempts of all of these others, whereas this right here, the 84.8 and 84.6 are on multiple attempts. And allow me to move over here because this is the same thing. It is in line with O3 Mini in mathematics, which both of those blow the rest out of the water. However, Grok 3 Beta, when it comes to multiple attempts, is actually pretty dang good. But here's what we really want to see. Code generation. It's not quite as good as O3 Mini, and it's not and it's in line with Grok 3 beta, not as good as multiple attempts Grok 3 beta. Code editing, Aider Polyglot, it is better than the rest. Agentic coding, so the Sweetbench verified, which is the end-all be-all, at least that's how it seems, it is better than all of them except for 3.7 Sonnet. However, we do have some problems with 3.7 Sonnet trying to do a lot of things that you didn't ask it to do. That's why, as a matter of fact, I have switched back to 3.5 Sonnet right here because 3.7 Sonnet just did too much that I didn't ask it to do. All right, so we're going to go a little crazy here and make an ultimate tic-tac-toe game in Java using Swing. Show all 9 tic-tac-toe boards on a 3x3 grid, manage which mini board is active, allow mouse click input, and check win conditions. Indicate player turns and show a message when someone wins. Run. So give us 3 code blocks as miniboardpanel.java, gameboardpanel.java, ultimate tic-tac-toe.java, and it's telling me exactly how to do that. Those go in the same directory. Open terminal. Let's do it. All right, here we go. Woo. Oh. Yeah, you can choose anywhere. Yeah, game over. Player X wins. Wow, you didn't see me. I didn't have my camera on, but I was smiling that whole time. That did one-shot it. That was pretty good. And I mean, just look at these beautiful Java, you know, UI. Like this is peak UI right here. Well done. Project number 3 with Gemini 2.5 Pro. Build a landing page using Vite and React inspired by the included mock-up image. Use the provided watercolor style background image as the full hero section background. That is this one right here. Use Tailwind CSS for styling and structure. Everything is reusable, editable React components. Run. I don't know how this is going to go, but there's one way to find out. Wow, that was actually pretty quick. Only 70 seconds, 69.6 seconds. Hero, footer, button, App Store badges. Landing page orchestrates these components. Hero section info, footer section info. The real question is, can I download all of this code at once? Oh wow, it even includes instructions. And I followed those instructions. I set up the Vite project, the npx Tailwind had a -p at the end, which I had to remove, so it wasn't all correct. But then there was no way to download this code and import it directly into the project, so I had to create each individual file, whatever directory I wanted, and copy and paste all of the code into the appropriate file, as well as drag over the background image, which is the only image I included, not the logo or the app badge icons. I could always do that later, but it should still look decent. It should be formatted decent if it knows what it's doing, and this is the result. This is not exactly, you know, what one really hopes for when it comes to a landing page. Recreate the X Twitter website in a single HTML file. Look it up to see what it looks like. And I'm going to do grounding with Google search. I don't know if it's actually going to work, but let's give it a shot. Oh look, based on search results and general knowledge, the X website desktop version typically features this. So it did look it up. Huh. This is not bad. Not bad at all. Obviously, you can't navigate through, but you're able to type right here. I don't think it posts, but it gives you a bit of a visual representation of exactly what it looks like right now. Now, the next is to have Gemini 2.5 refactor our for loops in this Rust code to the iterator methods that it's supposed to use. I've tested this with basically everything. I want to use the same exact prompt. Instead of for loops, use iter method, assuming that's best practice. Got to leave it a little bit open-ended. And it's probably a good idea to give it said code for it to refactor. So this is what it did. And this refactor is actually kind of insane. So this is what it was that I wrote. This is what 3.5 did when I asked it to refactor it, which was better than what 3.7 did. And that is it removed all the for loops. It cleaned up some of this other code as well. With these if statements, it cleaned up over here, as you can see. Replaced this for loop with the all method right here. And that's how it worked. It also switched out vec for a slice. But over here, mind you, the isSafe function and the main functions are swapped. But it did the slice as well. It added this as like a baseline check. A lot of this is the same, but this right here is a lot different. Instead of throwing everything into a single different like 3.7 did, it did diff OK for the difference. It said trend OK for the is increasing or decreasing, and then both conditions must hold. And then down in main, it did everything within a new total safe count. So you have your lines iteration, you have your map iteration. We have our reports right here, which is similar to what we already had for parsing, but then it's if is safe /reports 1 instead of where are we at? Safe count plus equals 1. And then for the modified reports, we have all of this is safe. Modified report can be made safe, add 1. Wow, this is some cool code. So what is my final conclusion with actually coding with Gemini 2.5 Pro Experimental? It is awesome. I do need to use it within Windsurf to really get the feel of what it's like working on an actual code base in my typical development workflow. But based on the one-shots, based on my unique one-shots, when I say one-shots, I don't mean like it just creates everything in one go, although it did with the tic-tac-toe game and it almost did with the P5JS game. I mean building something from the ground up. It was garbage on the landing page, although it wasn't the best prompt with the image, use this as a reference and this and that, but it was really bad, in other words. But having it refactor that code, woo, that was some clean code, if I must say so myself. Again, not a Rust dev. Let me know in the comments what you think of it, but it was nice. Have you used Gemini 2.5 Pro Experimental in coding at all or in anything else? Leave your thoughts below. I think I may be changing this over as my primary one to Windsurf once it's added because it's really good and it's really cheap. Subscribe, like, and whatever else you're supposed to do. Notification bell. Goodbye.